here again with another Breaking Bad Season 5 episode review video. Shit's about to go down. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you aren't caught up to the point where I am at rewatching or watching Breaking Bad, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you found out that you're not caught up, then I highly suggest that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers, especially this episode. And for all of you out there that are wondering and probably already know, I've seen Breaking Bad many times, at least 8 times, and this might even be my 10th time watching the show. So join me on the journey and let's discuss the show in the comments section along with the legendary Crazy Coffee Man, who is a Breaking Bad fan, a Dexter fan, and a Lucifer fanatic, amongst other things. With all that said, this will be Breaking Bad Season 5, Episode 14. The title of this episode is called Ozymandias. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. Again, spoiler alert. So we start with Jesse and Walt, and they're back to cooking in the RV again. This, of course, being a callback to the beginning of the series. And Jesse puts a cigarette in his mouth, and Walt says, "Not in here." And Jesse's like I'm an idiot. Walt's going to call Skylar, and he thinks of a lie that he's going to tell her. He goes through scenarios really quick and talks about them out loud, and then he tells Skylar, "I'm sorry, I'm going to be late tonight. Bogdan's got a bug up his butt." Walt talks about wanting to have a little family time, and then the phone call ends. Fun fact, this was actually the final thing that was filmed in Breaking Bad. Now, obviously, El Camino happened years later, but this was the last scene filmed for the show Breaking Bad. Of course, Aaron Paul shaved his beard and all that. So, back to present time and the gunfire. Hank's been shot in the leg, and Steve Gomez is dead. Rest in peace, Gomi. Hank crawls to try to get Gomez's shotgun. Jack says, simmer down there, Sparky. And then Jack finds the badge, and it proves that they are DEA agents, which he didn't know for sure. They identified themselves as that, but they didn't show any badges. And then Jack shouts, "No, no, no." Or I should say, Walt shouts, "No, no, no, Jack, no." Walt gets let out of the vehicle and says, "Jack, don't kill him. He's family." Walt says, "This is between me and him." Walt says to Hank, "Nothing can change what just happened, but you can walk out of here alive if you just promise us you'll just let this go." And Jack says, "Sorry, man, there's no scenario where he doesn't die." And then Walt's like, "No, no, no, I have money. It's buried out here, $80 million. And Jack says, "So that's what got this party started, huh?" And Walt says, "You can go anywhere, do anything. You can have any future that you want." And Jack says, "What do you think there, Fed? Would you take that deal?" And Walt says, "It's Hank. His name is Hank." "How about it, Hank? Should I let you go?" Jack asks. And then Hank says, "My name is Eggsack Schrader. You can go fuck yourself." Walt says, "Hank, you've got to do it. You got to tell him we can work this out. Please." "You want me to beg?" Or Hank says, "You want me to beg? You're the smartest guy I ever met. You're too stupid to see he made his mind up 10 minutes ago." And then Hank says to Jack, "Do what you're going to do." And then Jack right away shoots Hank in the head and kills Hank Schrader. So rest in peace to Hank and Steve Gomez. Wow. Walt falls over and starts crying. Jack's crew begin to dig where the coordinates, the GPS coordinates are, and then they do find the barrels of cash and load them onto a truck. They dump the bodies of Hank Schrader and Steve Gomez into the hole where the barrels were buried, and Jack tells Walt he's leaving him a barrel. They uncuff Walt, and Todd says, "Sorry for your loss." Honestly, to me, I hate when people say sorry for your loss. Not that it happens with me a lot, but I would rather just say it's very unfortunate. But sorry for your loss is like a robot response in my opinion. But anyway, he says it just like that. Sorry for your loss. And Jack tells Walt to get in his car and drive out of here. No hard feelings. You understand me? We square? And then Walt shakes Jesse's hand. Or, I'm sorry. Walt shakes Jack's hand. And then Walt says, Pinkman, you still owe me. And then Jack's like, well, if you can find him, we'll kill him. And Walt's like, found him. And of course, Jesse's been hiding under Walt's car. They pull Jesse out. Jack places a gun behind Jesse's head. And Jesse looks at the sky. And Jack asks, good to go? And then Todd suggests that he was working with those feds. And Todd says, we'll take care of the job after we find out the information. And then Walt's kind of like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And I know you guys are going to beat the shit out of him and torture him anyway. And then as they're about to leave, Walt says, wait. And then Walt says to Jesse that he watched Jane die. I was there, and I watched her die. I watched her OG and choke to death. I could have saved her, but I didn't. Wow. That's kind of a mic drop moment, in my opinion. So Walt drives away shortly after his car stalls. It's out of gas. It's leaking gas, and there's a bullet hole near the gas tank. And then Walt takes his barrel out and starts rolling it through the desert. Walt finally arrives at a house in the desert. He asks the man about his truck that he has. And he tells Walt, it's not for sale. And then he tells Walt the truck, then he does sell Walt the truck as Walt handed him some money, more money than the thing was worth, that's for sure. And then Skyler calls Walt and leaves a message. Marie comes to the car wash telling Junior, me and your mom need to talk. They go into the office as they leave Junior and have an A1 day behind the register. It'd probably scare away all the customers. And Marie says, I have nothing to say. Wait a minute. I think that's what Skyler said. But anyway, she says that I got a call from Hank. He arrested Walt. Dead to rights. Hank is booking Walt as we speak. And I, for one, couldn't be happier. Whatever he did to you can hopefully be undone. Marie wants every single copy of that DVD that they made, and then she'll help Skyler out. And she wants Skyler to tell Junior immediately. He needs to know, and he needs to know now. And then we see Jesse beaten up and bloodied in an underground cage. Jesse says, just go there. Go to his house and get it. And then Todd pulls Jesse out of the cage, and Todd takes Jesse to their new meth lab. I don't know if that's the thing that they got from Declan's guys from out of the bus that they had buried, but they have all the equipment. Oh, actually, I think that's all from the meth lab that Walt and Jesse had, where they went to different houses that got exterminated. But there's actually a picture of Andrea and Brock in this meth lab, and Todd tells Jesse, let's cook. And then Junior says, you're completely out of your mind. Both of you are out of your mind. You're full of shit. How could you keep this a secret? And Marie tells Flynn, your mother's telling you the truth. And then Marie tells Junior, just try to breathe. And then Walt arrives home and starts packing suitcases. In the car, Skyler tells Junior to put his seatbelt on as it's not safe. And Junior says, you're shitting me, right? If this is true and you know about it, then you're as bad as him. Then Skyler arrives home and they see the truck that they don't recognize in the driveway. And then Junior sees Walt. And then he runs up to him. They say you were arrested. They say you're some kind of drug dealer. And Dad, stop and talk to me, please. You know, Walt's like trying to just move as fast as he can to get everything packed and get the hell out of Dodge. And then Walt says, listen to me. And Skyler says, Walt, why are you here? And Walt says, he negotiated and we're fine. And then Skyler says, where is Hank? And then Walt says, I have $11 million in cash out front. All we have to do is leave and have a fresh start. And Skyler's like, you killed Hank. And Walt says, no, I tried to save him. And then Junior keeps following Walt around, trying to find out what's going on. And then Skyler grabs a knife and says, "Get out," to Walt. "Get out of here now." And then Skyler swings the knife at Walt and actually cuts him on his right hand. And then Walt and Skyler kind of wrestle, trying to get the knife. Skyler's got it in her hands and Walt's trying to grab it. And then when they're on the ground, Walt actually gets on top of Skyler. And then Junior actually tackles Walt. And then just kind of like, Walt gets off and he kind of like sits in front of his mom. Like, I'm protecting her. And then Walt's like, "What the hell is wrong with you? We're a family." And then Junior calls the police. And he says on the phone that my dad has a knife and he's trying to hurt my mom, when in fact it was Skyler that grabbed the knife. And Walt grabs Holly and leaves. And Skyler screams, "No, let her go." And then we see Walt in a private bathroom, maybe a family restroom at a mall. Might not have been a family restroom though, but he's put duct tape on his hand to stop the bleeding, and he's changing Holly's diaper. And then Holly says "Mama" a bunch of times. Detectives are at the White residence as well as Aunt Marie. And then Walt calls, and Skyler, he starts leaving a message. "Skyler, it's me. Pick up." And then Skyler eventually answers the phone, tells Walt that there's no police around. And then he says, "What the hell is wrong with you? Why can't you just do one thing I say? This is your fault. This is what comes of your disrespect. I told you, Skyler. I warned you for a solid year. You cross me, there will be consequences. What part of that didn't you understand?" And then Skyler says, "You took my child." And then Walt's like, "'Cause you need to learn," Walt says. And Skyler says, "Bring her back." And then Walt's like, "Maybe you'll listen. You'll use your damn head. You know you never believed in me. You were never grateful for anything that I did for this family." Walt, no. You have to stop. You have to stop this. It's illegal. You're always whining and complaining about how I make my money. Just dragging me down while I do everything. Now you tell me, or you tell my son what I do after I told you to keep your damn mouth shut? You stupid bitch. It's one of my favorite parts of Breaking Bad when he says, "You stupid bitch." And obviously, Walt's just saying all this stuff to make himself look like the bad guy so the cops don't look into Skyler more. And then, "How dare you?" And Skyler says, "I'm sorry." And Walt says, "You have no right to discuss anything about what I do. What the hell do you even know about it anyway? Nothing. I built this, me alone, nobody else." And Skyler says, "You're right." And then Walt says, "Mark my words, Skyler. Toe the line or you'll end up just like Hank." And then Skyler says, "Walt, tell me what happened. Where is Hank? Please, we need to know." And then Walt says, "You're never going to see Hank again. He crossed me. You think about that. You let that sink in. Wait, I just want Holly back. Please, Walt. I still got things left to do." And then Walt hangs up, takes the battery out of his phone. And then we're at the fire department, and the lights are flashing on a fire truck. And what Walt's done is he's actually left Holly in there with a note. And Walt's waiting for the disappearer. His name is Ed. And then Walt takes what's left of his belongings and goes into the red van. And that's what ends this amazing episode of Breaking Bad. So this is definitely one of my favorite episodes of the show. It is not my favorite episode. Maybe it should be, but there's just one episode that I know for sure that I like a little bit more. But this is easily a 10 out of 10. One of the greatest episodes of television, even. Walt is the character of the episode for the males. Skyler is the character of the episode for the females. And rest in peace to Steve Gomez and Hank Schrader. What an episode. So you've heard everything that I have to say. And now, of course, it's your turn. If you're a fan of Breaking Bad, El Camino, Better Call Saul, and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm and show your support, Hulk smash the like button. And keep in mind, I cover a lot of things on this channel. Check out my community tab and check out my playlist. I have a bunch of different things. Walking Dead stuff, Dexter stuff, Lucifer stuff, Shameless stuff. In addition to Breaking Bad, some Better Call Saul stuff I did. Lost stuff that I'm going to redo because I'm not happy with that. And then, of course, I have UFC Fight Reactions, movie rankings and everything. Share the video with a friend. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are pertaining to this episode. Interact with me and the legendary Crazy Coffee Man. What would be your score of this episode? I mean, if it's not a 10, you need to be canceled. Who would be your male character of the episode? Who would be your female character episode? Or if you just want to do one, that's fine. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. Subscribe to the channel. You are watching the video anyway. Join the team. Show your damn support and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.